Well, hello everybody. Oh, I need to clean the lens. Superb introduction. Still having issues with Olive. I have put the new solenoid on, it's all lock nutted and all that bollocks. What else does it do? Oh, anyway, it was turning over, not firing. I've got good compression, I've got sparkage, but when it's turning over, it's kind of going thump, 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 and then there's sometimes the sprag clutch will slip. Yeah, you know, if I'm discharging the battery is fully charged up. I've put a new spark plug in. That's the one that's come out. It's not too bad, but just in case, I put the new spare in. But what I'm going to do, it's still not kicking off. I have put a fuel line in, but I'm not sure as to whether it's actually getting the fuel. So we're going to do a little experiment. Well, I'm going to do it in a couple of hours because it's still early and don't want to be fucking pissing off the neighbours. But I'm going to be doing a musty one. We're going to pop the spark plug out, drip a little fuel in the hole, put the spark plug back in, and see if it barks on that. If it barks on that, I know it's a fuel related issue. Maybe we've got a block filter or a block jet in the carbs. Funnily enough, when I blew through the fuel line, I couldn't pressurise the fuel, which shows that the float needles are working. Basically, the floats are shutting off. So it's not that. With a fully charged battery, the new plug, and a bit of fuel, it may just bark off, but this is a pretty good starter. There was a possibility I'd possibly flooded it, but usually when you flood it, if you just crack the throttle a tiny bit and then start it, it thumps straight away. It's a very good starter usually. So I'm going to be investigating that. So when it's a bit later in the morning, I will bring you back. We'll throw some fire juice down the old hole and see if it coughs off. If it coughs off, I'm probably going to have to take the carbs off again and just give them a quick look, which, as you know, involves taking the panels off, dropping the subframe, pulling them out. I have been running a fuel filter, but maybe, you know, they don't catch everything. Maybe we're just a little bit shut up, so I don't know. The other thing is, when it has backfired, whatever, these carbs are going whoop. So, you know, maybe they're loose in the boots or something, and we've got a big air gap. It shouldn't really stop it starting, though. Stop it starting. Hey, if you don't stop starting. My biggest fear is that if we've got fuel, compression, spark, is that the timing's gone, and the only real way the timing can go on these hand gestures is if it's shit the woodruff key on the sprag clutch flywheel, which can happen. I've heard of instances of it happen. That's the only other thing. There is an easy way of telling. Take the side cover off and you'll see if it's broken anyway, but also set it at top dead centre, and your ignition pickup, yeah, remember that, Jim, should be in the correct place, in the firing place at top dead centre. But hopefully we won't have to go in that deep. I am fingers crossed hoping that a bit of fire juice down the hole will get it barked off. It may just be that we've got a slight problem with the carbotinkles. There's the brother-in-law shaking out the dog's rug. Lovely. So I will bring you back later. Right, it's now a little bit later. Let's dribble some fire water down the hole for now. Put the plug back in, see what it does. Interesting. I'll just set you on the stand. Yeah, oh yes, a stand. Right. This is going to be interesting. Excuse me, they're in the way. See if we can get a bit down the hole. Yes, and everywhere else. I know I've got spark, and it's definitely just got fuel. I wonder if it is the timing. You bugger. Now you should hopefully be able to see the end of the sparkulation unit there. I can't actually zoom in with this camera, so I'm just going to give it a spin over just to make sure we've still got spark. Yeah, good spark, and there's also choochage coming out the hole. This is a mystery. This is why I'm erring on the side of timing. Because as far as I know, the float bowls are full, and we've got spark. I think there's definitely compression. So yes. It could only be timing, couldn't it? Don't really want to take that side cover off. Oh look, we're here again, taking the side cover off to check the timing. The reality is, if it's going to do dumb shit like this, I can't really justify keeping it. It's got to be reliable. It's got to earn its keep. And to be fair, it costs more to tax the stuff than the ZZR, because they do it on capacity. This is a 650, so it's in the higher tax bracket. And believe it or not, the near 160 mile/hour ZZR is cheaper to tax. It was also not that bad to insure at all, nor is this, to be fair. So I don't know. The only thing I can think it is at the moment is timing. It's got fuel because I've just dumped a load in it. It's got spark. It's got compression, but it's kicking back like a bastard, which suggests timing's off. Now the only way the timing can go off on this is if the woodruff key has sheared, which has been known. It is on the Rotax forums and stuff that they can do it, and then of course what happens then is that your flywheel will move position, and if that moves position, your ignition pickup moves, taking the ignition timing out. So the only way to verify this, get the cover off and have a look. Yes, push the button. I am doing. Turn off the camera. Okay, covers off, obviously. Duh. No obvious signs at the moment, but I forgot where the top dead centre mark is. There is a mark on the flywheel just there, and that, yes, that does line up with something. I'm going to have a quick look at the manual because it's been a while since I've had this off, but we've saved the gasket because I white greased it. I always put white grease on both sides of the gasket before I put it on, and then in the event of this, it works on Japanese bikes, on the clutch covers. Basically always white grease the gasket, and then you've got a chance of recovering it when you take it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bike on top dead centre on the timing marks when I've had a look to see where they are, because I have forgot, and then I'm going to see how this is sitting in relation to the ignition pickup. At top dead centre, this I think should be about there, literally just before the eye for it to fire. You might be wrong there, Jim. Well, I might be, but I might be right. There's a rare occasion I am. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly check the timing marks, set it to top dead centre, and then if that is not in the correct position, the only logical thing that's happened is that the woodruff key on the shaft here has gone, and it's altered the timing. Other than that, I'm pretty much lost where to go, so I'm sort of hoping to find a cause. So we'll see. I'll go and have a look to see where TDC should be, and then I mean the easy way to do it is take the plug out, stick a pencil or something down the bore, and when that pencil is up top, she's at top dead centre. It doesn't matter whether it's on ignition stroke or whatever, because this will fire every time, every revolution. This will time. It's like a wasted spark. So it doesn't matter. I mean, that is the easiest way to do it without looking at a manual. Shove something down the bore, rotate, stop when it stops moving, basically. But no, I'd like to do it by the timing marks. Jim, you're waffling. I know, I like waffles. Bacon and waffles. Turn the camera off. Well, using the power of the depth gaugeometer, that engine is at top dead centre. There is something wrong with this picture. There's the ignition pickup. It should be here. It should be literally about 10 degrees before the eye, something like that. And it isn't. Cut out on the flywheel, there's also a corresponding one on the crank here. And obviously there's a woodruff key. The cutout in the crank, which is actually deeper into the crank, this cutout, basically, with the pickup, should be a line in there. It should be firing now, let's put it that way. And it's not. It's, let's see, it's about 60 degrees out. The only way I can see that can happen is either the woodruff key has sheared as feared, which is a safety thing at the end of the day. The woodruff key is designed not only to locate the flywheel, but there's a hell of a lot of torque in this. So let's say temporarily the engine hydrolocked or something like that, it will break the woodruff key rather than shit the crank, fingers crossed. So anyway, I'm going to get my puller, I'm going to pull this flywheel off, and I'm expecting to see a woodruff key in bits. If it's not that, then has it probably skipped the timing chain? Because that'll be fun. It might be an engine out job. Bloody well hope not. How did I lock the crank the last time? Yeah, I can't remember. Impact gun required. Right. Is anybody taking bets on a broken woodruff key? Place your bets now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the plus side, the sprag clutch still looks really good. So I'm really happy about that. Hi Jim, are you just bullshitting? No, I'm really happy for that, because the woodruff key has done its job. Obviously something probably hydrolocked in the engine. What happened is I started the bike, ran it for a couple of minutes, turned it off, left the fuel on. Now, this bike has had issues with the float bowls overflowing. It does it very occasionally, because obviously it's hand gestures, it's had all the new float kit and all that lot put in it. But what I did get in the habit of doing is, whenever the bike's not running, I turn the fuel off, and I do that with every bike that's got a manual fuel tap. It just negates the possibility, let's say. But I didn't do it this time, and I left it about 5 minutes. That could be enough to overflow a carburettor, chuck some in the cylinder, and it could be enough to just momentarily hydrolock the engine. Although it's funny, because it ran, I turned it off, and then when I turned it back on again, it just clicked, the solenoid gone. Maybe it's all combined, I don't know. It's all by the by now anyway. Anyway, I need to go and look for a woodruff key, because that fucker is broken. But at least it's only that, and it hasn't sheared the crank. So it's an easy fix. It's just a bum ache, but it's an easy fix. Now, if this would have happened at the side of the road, I'm really not sure what you could do about it. I don't think I have the capacity to do anything about it. You could probably have made a woodruff key. You know, if you went to a local garage, they could probably have knocked you one up out of something just to get you home. But I haven't got the bloody intelligence to do that. Really, Jim? No, I haven't got the intelligence to fucking breathe on my own half the time. Anyway, it's a woodruff key. So I'm going to conclude this video here, and the next Aprilia video will probably Jimmy fixing the Aprilia. But that was my suspicion from the very first go, because I knew I'd got compression, I knew I'd got fuel, timing was out, and of course we had this before when I first reassembled the bike and did it incorrectly because I didn't read the fucking manual. But this is literally just a case of replacing the woodruff, nice and easy. They should be available. I'm pretty sure Wemoto's got them, but anyway, I know they're available, and they should be pretty cheap, and they should be pretty generic. Jim, stop waffling. Why don't you fuck off and have some breakfast? Good idea. Boobies.
A few moments later.
It's now the next day. I went on the Aprilia sites, and I've just put that there so it's off the floor, basically, because it's magnetic. Any shite that's on the floor, it picks up. So the best thing to do, it will be cleaned again when it is fitted back, but just hang it back there for now, you know, hang it back there for now. Anyway, I looked on a couple of Aprilia spares sites, and they show you the diagram of the crank, where the woodruff keys are, because there's another one for the clutch, and what have you, but they're all different sizes, which doesn't matter. But I went on the Aprilia forums. I went on the Aprilia sites, part sites, and although they list the woodruff keys, nobody has any. Aprilia don't do them anymore. But bear in mind, it's a 1999 bike. The first one of these came out, what is it, 94, something like that? I don't know, might be very wrong on that, usually am. So, I don't suppose this engine exists anymore. I don't know. I really don't know, and I wouldn't care less, because new bikes are dull. So anyway, couldn't get a woodruff key from Aprilia. I looked on Wemoto, which usually, if something is sort of prone to breaking or replaced a lot, Wemoto tend to list it, because they list the sprag clutch and stuff for these. But no woodruff key is listed. So then I measured what I took out, and it was 4mm wide, 5mm high, 12mm give or take long, 12 to 13mm long. And then I went on the Aprilia forums, and it's quite a common problem, to be fair. People who have experienced the sprag clutch slipping and stuff like that, when the sprag clutch slips, there's a lot of inertia in this, and you end up breaking your woodruff key. Now, if that was the original woodruff key that was in there, God knows how many starts and stuff it's had to put up with. Plus, this was parked up with a knackered sprag clutch, so God knows how much abuse it's took. Anyway, long story short, they gave me the proper dimensions of the woodruff key. It's a very common size. It's a very common problem on all big singles, to be fair. And so I've been on the Amazon Jungle website, and I've got a whole box of them coming, all sorts, all metric. So I shall have shitloads. So apart from probably using a couple in this, I'm going to have a box of woodruff keys lying around the shed for decades. But no, I mean, there's other stuff that uses them with they're on car pulleys, you know, stuff like that, and it's one of those things that you've never got until you need. So yes, we've got those coming, and there was a box, and I forget how many pieces there were in the box. There's a lot of them, but it was like a tenner, something like that. But that tenner accidentally turned into like 40 quid. Because I've ordered some cans of pop, and I've ordered some flavoured coffee, and I've had to order a new mount for my little GoPro session, because as I showed you in the other video, it's split, and the original GoPro one is fucking astronomical. So I've bought a generic one, which is probably the same factory that makes the normal ones, and I've got that coming. So all that should be coming tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, or Woden's Day. Yes, 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 yes. I sacrificed this death to Odin. Anyway, so yeah, it'll all be when I've got the free time. I've got Saturday off. It might have to wait till Saturday to be all put back together, but that, fingers crossed, should cure it. Look at the dirt under them nails. You grew up potatoes, man. So yes, so that's about where we're at. No doubt I'm going to show a few days later or something like that now, or the Batman swizzle. Hello everybuggers. It's now a different day. My box of woodruff keys have come in from the Amazonian website, and ooh, look, Jimmy's had the calipers out. Anyway, out my box of gubbins, the one that's actually the closest match is the Do. All these different sizes, but that's the one. 4, 5 by 13, and it probably won't work, but put that there next to my penis. I don't know if that'll show it, but that one is the closest match. So I'm going to clean out my slot and then start putting everything back. Now, quite often the sprag clutch doesn't want to go over this gear wheel. Quite often it's easier just to remove there's 3 gears. This one's just a little shield. Remove the 3 gears, put the sprag clutch on, and then as you put this one on, you introduce these 2 at the same time. I've now done that several times, and it is easier than just trying to get the sprag on, so I might go down that route. So I'm going to be farting around for the next few minutes. Right, everything's back on. I did end up taking the back gear wheel out, and then you have to put all 3 on simultaneously, which is a bit of a wiggle, and then basically just start tightening the nut by hand, and it will just press everything in. These are seated, but they all go back with this. They all seat in position. So I'm just going to quickly just put the nut on and just start tightening it, just to press this on. When you actually install the nut, you thread lock it. So I shall carry on doing that. Reassembly of the cover. There is, oh shit bollocks, no there's not shit and bollocks, well there is. There's a spacer goes on there, and there is also a thrust washer that goes on there. If you get it the wrong way around and put like the washer there, or I don't think because it looks right, it will lock these gears up. Just something to be wary of. Don't ask me how I know. Covers back on. Just give it a wipe over, get rid of me dirty mucky finger marks, which, you know, when you look at the rest of the bike really won't make any difference. But yes, the cover's on, all the screws tightened, and it's at this point where I probably forget that I've done something internally. Plugs in, leads on, fuel supplyage rigged up, filled the float bowls, and it runs. And I know you won't take my word for it. So, ignitiato onio. There we go. I think that's enough to convince judge and jury, don't you, boys and girls? Anyway, that is the end of the Aprilia repair saga. Fingers crossed. All I've got to do now, put the tank on, plumb it in, get some fuel, because I drained all the fuel out of it. I do believe some got donated to Phyllis. So yes, I can always use Phyllis and go and get a can of fuel. I filled the red one up yesterday. 16 earth pounds. Blimey. Still cheaper than putting diesel in the car though.